Hello, hello. Well, now I said masquerade party, so I better tell you about this masquerade party. And I look at there and I look at the person in that picture that you're looking at, and I think, oh my gosh, who in the world is that? Who is that? And how come I'm inside of her? Like that's not me. This is a masquerade party. And now I've been living life, and now I've got to go through life looking like this. This is a masquerade party, and everybody is going to see the masquerade, but they're not going to know that it's me. They won't know. They'll see that, and they'll think, oh, her, who's that? It's not me. Anyway, that's what the masquerade party is about. I think of myself as moving through the years. The years number keeps changing, but it's quite irrelevant to me. It's just like when it's Valentine's Day, or it's Columbus Day, or Halloween, or it's the weekend. Like we have taken time and we have chopped it up into neat little blocks, and we have clocks to measure it, and we can live our life by it. It's very interesting. But really, I am a spirit, and I am having a mortal experience. And it's a problem-solving adventure. So when I first got here, I had very tiny problems, which to me were huge. My problem was that my tummy hurt because I was hungry. My solving the problem was to cry. And as the problems got bigger, like learning how to walk, and as I couldn't, when I was born, I couldn't open a door. I didn't have the tools for it. My arms hadn't grown. All these things hadn't happened yet. Daniel wanted to play with Willem played on the piano, but he had to wait because he couldn't reach an octave. And he had to reach an octave. And so he couldn't play this piece. So we wait for our bodies to change so that we can do the things that we want to do. Like we go and we work out. We do all these things to our bodies so they'll feel right, but we're just passing through, right? We're just passing through. This is a temporary experience. It's 2.5 hours. We will have been away from home. I wonder if you could stick this that way. Then I would have little sideburns. Did you see that? You have to rewind it. Things like that don't come again twice. All right, so is anybody here? Oh, one person is here. Hello, I wonder if you're a person or a bot. Like I'm finding out that there are such things as, how do I make this bigger? Oh, I put my glasses on. Oh my goodness, now who's that woman with all these lines? Look at that. This is not me. It's not my body. What happened to my body? I want it back. But no, this is the turn now. Hi, Ellen. Nice to see you. So it isn't a bot. Anyway, so my idea about that we're just passing through time, and that I'm just standing still, really, and time is passing around me. And time is having its effect on things. Every I don't think the winter affects things as badly as the thaw. It's the water. When everything is frozen, you can just brush it off. There's nothing gets wrecked. It's when it thaws. And then it all seeps in everywhere, and it ruins the picnic tables and the decks and the houses and the leaves, and everything gets ruined and breaks down. And the same thing happens with our bodies. Meanwhile, we're standing and watching it, and I personally have not broken down. I personally am a compilation of myself plus all the things I've learned and all the things I've experienced. And none of that diminishes. I guess my memory starts to go. But those things I have gained are with me in spite of my memory. Yeah, yeah. You aren't old though, are you? Your body's old. You now inhabit this old body, this body that's been around a while. To me, I mean, I look at people and I'm like our bishop, our branch president of church. He says, he says we have a ward of seniors. Like we have an elderly people in the ward, and I'm looking around thinking, oh yes, those people are in their 80s. They are elderly. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, well, let's see, now those people, they're a little younger than me. They're not elderly. And of course, I'm not elderly, so I'm not really sure who he's talking about. And then I look at that picture in there and I think, oh my gosh, this is who I'm acting like? This is the body I've got to wear? No wonder people treat me like this. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like coming home and finding out you have dummy written on your back or on your chest or something, It's like it's like somebody put makeup on and made me look like this. I'm all made up as a senior. This is what I made. This is just the senior look. It's a masquerade party. And for a while now it's going to look like this, and then it's going to get worse. You see my wings? She flies through the air with the greatest of ease, the daring young girl on the flying trapeze. Sorry, most people hide them, but everybody gets them. It's not mine, it's this body. I didn't do anything to get that. It wasn't my work. It wasn't, like it's this body thing. I suppose you could say that if I had never been fat, I would never have had this, which then developed like that. Also, muscles. Because I was quite muscular, but then this is not muscle. Where's that muscle? There's the muscle. So what's this? This is all just loose. Sorry to show you guys all this. See what old people talk about? No, but see, it's not an old person. It's just me. It's just me. I think that as I've learned that the rules are not as important. A lot of the rules, there are rules that are very important. Rules that govern light and darkness. And that's all choices and behavior. Those are amazing eternal rules. And so going into the light and staying in the light, that's important. But all these other rules, there's so many silly rules that people have made up. Here we are out here on this planet. And when I go outside, like I have to worry about some things. If I'm going to go sleep in that teepee, I need to do it, because if I don't do it, I won't have done it. And I won't have a memory, and I need that memory. I don't really want someone else there. I mean, my problem is that Willem doesn't want to go with me there. So who do I have on a camp out? And anyway, if I'm going to sleep inside, I've made a mattress out of cattails. I bundled them, lots of cattails. I've made 4 bundles. Then I bundled the bundles together, and then I tied the whole thing several times. And it's wonderful. And I put a blanket over it so that if there's any bugs or spiders or whatnot, they are not on me. They're underneath. Anyway, so I'm going to put my tent on top of the bench that has my cattail mattress on, and my seed pillow. Phragmites seeds. I can't let any of them loose. So any I have found have gone into pillows. And so they're very soft. They're quite fluffy, except the stems. But, you don't want to mess with them and play and take the stems off of everything, because unless maybe everything is wet. But if it's dry, they'll just take flight. And you got to be so careful with that. Anyway, so I want to sleep in there, but there's animals. And I don't know which animals would bother me. There's no food in there that's loose. I mean, there's nuts in a jar, but the jar is closed. But I don't know, raccoon, what would come in there to find me? Nothing. Maybe most likely the spiders and and the rodents and the whatever little things there are that live there. I mean, it is got a floor made of leaves and walls made of grass. But it's so awesome. It's such a part of the earth. Anyway, I'm going to put my tent on top of my mattress, and I'm going to put my blankets and pillow in my tent and zip it closed. And then I'm going to sleep on my mattress in my tent, in my thing. But I'm not sure about this. It's very hot and very damp. And anyway, we'll work it out, eh? Hey, we have 3 people here. I know one is Ellen, or maybe Ellen has come and gone. And now there's 4, but no thumbs ups. And have you subscribed? Like and subscribe. That's what they say. Anyway, so I was talking about our masquerade party of this body, which continually changes. And it changes in ways that none of us have really ever been thrilled with. Sometimes it's really nice. But usually you see, I think the reason that there's so much people not liking the way they look, their appearance, is because they know who they are, and their body does not look like that. And I think that perhaps, like we used to live in heaven as spirits, we didn't have bodies, and we looked a certain way there, and we come down here, and I think that perhaps, like, maybe our bodies don't look exactly like our spirits. Maybe, like, when we're 12 and we decide that our nose has a terrible curve and we really are very ugly, when we decide that, perhaps it's because it didn't quite look like that before. And now we're seeing it. Or maybe without that light that we were living in, incredible light. I mean, it was like living in the sun, right? God's glory is like the sun. That's pretty bright. We lived there in that. That's what we're used to. That's the amount of light that we grew up with for billions and trillions and gazillion years. And here we are in Earth life, 1 dot in the darkness. Oh my gosh. Will it ever be sunny? Oh, it's a sunny day. Everybody run to the beach. We all remember. We miss it. We don't know. We just think it's nice. I want to be there. AJSHMYR. Hello, AJ Shimmer. Just Shimmer. You've watched me for years and subscribed. Just haven't watched for a few years. Think you were camping out your dugout by your dugout lake. Who knows? Could have been anything. It's nice that you're here. It's so cool. And I didn't even know you've been watching for years. The things that go on that I don't know about. Isn't that interesting? The ripple effect. Everything that you do makes ripples. Every smile you make makes someone else smile or something. And every frown, every get out of my way, I was here first, I'm going faster than you. Ribeiro. Oh, you're an ASMR person. Hi. And I'm glad it's always been a joy, my beautiful papa. And hi, Ethira. Gee, these names. These are not English names that I'm used to. But then it's so cool because the whole world has amazing different names. When I married Willem, there's one name, his mother's name is Elida, and his father's name, well, his stepfather is Ton, and his sister-in-law is Inaka, and there's all kinds of names that are just so different. You're Canadian, but also Brazilian. Ribeiro. Is that a girl? You look like a girl, but I can't see because of these eyes that are in this body, which is kind of disintegrating. They don't want to do it anymore. But it's not me. It's not permanent. I'm going to get my real body back. And it's not going to be that long, is it? Okay, my real name, Samantha. I use Afira because it means living flame, and I think it's pretty cool. And Ribiera, your boy. I thought when I said that, I thought, but you know that picture is about the size of the head of a pin. It's about the size of my dirty fingernail. Do your fingernails get dirty? You people that are outside, do they get dirty all the time? I can't believe every time I have it. I mean, they're clean if I've just showered. As you can see, I haven't showered this morning. I have to shower. But they're only clean until I do something. So you wouldn't really know if I've showered or not. Oh, you know what happened yesterday? I was pulling weeds out of my garden, and I had this motherwort. And I was pulling it, and it all had spikes. All the little seeds pods, they were spiky, and somehow it left. See those little black dots? Yeah, all those little black dots. Those are spikes that are left in my fingers from this thing. But they aren't hurting anymore. Boy, it stung all day yesterday. And I got stung by nettles a few days ago, all through here. And it was interesting because it hurt about a day later. I think it was when all this happened. Perhaps it was an allergic reaction, like when something that is it nettles. I think that's an allergic reaction. So it's a histamine, I guess, on the nettles, right? Because antihistamine is what you take. If you're going to eat something that you're allergic to, if you take an aspirin beforehand, it's supposed to have an antihistamine effect so that you can eat it. Okay, got to get ready for church. See you later. Okay, yeah, I got it. Well, I got a little more time than you. Where do you live, Ribiera? Are you in Brazil? No, that's. Oh, are you in Canada or Brazil? Well, motherwort, it is not. Yes, I think, but I can't remember what it does. But it doesn't do. It's not like a female's issue kind of a plant, even though it's called motherwort. Oh, you're in Ontario. What church do you go to? I go to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I love it. But we haven't been going much, but we're just starting to go, and I guess the fourth wave is starting, and so I imagine we aren't going to be able to keep going for very long. But we might be able to. It's hard to say. I'm not sure. Like, we've been vaccinated twice, but this variant seems to be, I don't know, seems to be picking up speed. This is the Delta variant. So what happens with viruses, in case you might not have known, a virus mutates every so many virus hours. You love your church? Slate Church? What does that mean? Slate? Hillsong Church. Anyway, whereabouts in Ontario are you? I guess we shouldn't get into details like that on here. Anyway, enjoy yourself. I love going to church because I always come away having gotten back on track. I had a little a meeting with somebody. I met up with somebody in the woods once who was using it as a shortcut, and I was horrified that they would not be using the public road, but instead be coming through as a shortcut. And I was very upset. And later I listened to a conference talk, and he was talking about anger and controlling your anger. And, I hadn't heard anything about controlling my anger for a very long time. You hear about other things. You hear about listening to the promptings of the Spirit, and how that in the last days will be how we are able to survive, is by being able to hear Him as He talks to us and as we, answer. And we've been hearing about current things like the importance or the importance of the Constitution and the real meaning of the Constitution, and the things that the Constitution allows for, and peaceful protest. And anyway, so we've been hearing some of those things, and faith to move mountains, like the mountains, that the faith of a mustard seed that we need to move a mountain is not to move some abstract mountain for no purpose indeed, but the mountains in our lives. Every day is problem solving. And I started to say a long time ago, but I distracted myself, that in the beginning we have very small problems, and the tools that we have to use to fix those problems are very small. For instance, when you get born, you have pain. The only tool you have is crying, and you cry. It's the only tool you have. Your toolbox is empty. It's like getting on Minecraft with nothing. You don't have mobility. You don't have choices. You don't have, and nothing is really open to you. You've just got the little step one. Well, so every day problem solving happens, and the problems get a little bigger, and we solve them. And every day. And so the problems that you have today are the reason that the Lord doesn't give you more than you can handle. And how that all works out is because you can't handle it today when you're whatever age, but you're going to be able to handle it because the tools you're going to get this week, every day, you're going to learn problem solving skills. You're going to go through whatever. And then as you age, the more people are involved. Like when you're young, it's you and your family, and then it's you and your people at school. And it gets worse as high school, people at school, and all the rejection, because no matter who you are in high school, there's a whole bunch of people that don't like you, and there's a bunch of people that do like you. And so they're always feeling rejected, right? And that all causes pain. The same part of your brain fires when you feel rejection from people as it does when you actually are hit. Same center feels pain. Anyway, now I'm off that track. So back to this. Oh yeah. So the problems that you have get bigger, but your experiences, like I've tried many things to solve a problem. You want to take a lid off a jar. Oh, people take a lid off a jar with this way. Well, I have to check first. Is that the best way? Is there a faster way? Do you pry it open? So whatever it is that is the established way of doing something, I've always tried it a different way just because I might have a faster way or something, might be a more efficient way. And I've learned so many things because I've done things wrong. Because sometimes you try and do it 10 ways and they all don't work. And the only way that works is the right way that you should have done it in the first place. But you thought you could make shortcuts, right? And that's how you get experience. And so by the time you're asking your grandfather how to build a table, he's going to tell you what kind of nails to use and to pre-drill your holes. Because you know why he's going to tell you to pre-drill your holes? Because he's already done it the wrong way. He's already used a nail that was too big, put it in the hole or put it in the thing, and it cracked. And the whole thing wrecked, or he had to glue it, or he had to take it out and glue it and then try it again. And finally you drill it. And so after a while, you learn that that's the only way that's really going to work. So you might as well just do it that way the first time. But I still don't always do it that way the first time. I think I have tried to check out everything I've ever done. My father used to say to me, which I kind of understand now, there's the right way, there's the wrong way, and there's Nancy's way. And that is because Nancy could never fit into the circle mold or the square mold or whatever. I'm a triangle. Who knows? That's it. I'm a triangle in some sort of a hole. Too big for the hole. So our problem solving, first our masquerade party. So our body that we're living in, it's going to go through all these things it's going to go through. And at the right time, just like everybody else's bodies go through these things. It's not me. I'm not getting old. It's this body. Think about it. Your mind, do you feel old? Your body feels old, but you're probably sharp as a tack. So your mind's not old. You're not old. But anyway, but only old people can say this, because if you're not old, if I'm looking at somebody older than me, I'm thinking, oh, they're old. But really, you know what it is? It's like it's evidence of experience. But anyway, it's all a masquerade party. And this is not me. And I will not look like this later. When I am in charge of what I look like, it's not going to be this. No, I don't have a choice about that right now. But I will later. Ha ha. Oh, you're in Winnipeg, double vaccinated and so thankful. You take care. You look great. Must get to work. I'm sorry you have to work on a Sunday, but I'm glad you have a job. So what's with all the nurses, eh? Like there's a shortage of 10,000 nurses in Ontario. A lot of people died from COVID. A lot of people suffered a lot of PTSD and burnout. I don't know. I think it's this way everywhere now. What is the next wave going to look like? It hasn't been so bad because a lot of people that could be saved were saved. But without nurses, we'll see. We'll see. You know, I wanted to say something in defense of journalists and the media. I think that I was a journalist once, and I think that people who are investigative reporters, if you think about it, what does an investigative reporter do? They go out there and they talk to people. And then they inquire and they go to places and look up documents. And they read the documents and they follow up on what other people have said. And then they verify these things. There's fact checking. You know, everything has to be fact checked. If you're going to put it in Better Homes and Gardens, it's got to be fact checked. The same with a lot of newspapers. I don't know all of them, but I know that the big ones, things have to be fact checked. You know, you remember Lois and Clark, and something was going to get on the air, but they had to fact check it first, you know. Then just at the last minute, the fact came in and they could put it on the air, right? Like fact checking is pretty important. And I feel that journalists, that especially for the New York Times, like David Ignatius, I think there's people out there that really find the facts, and those facts lead to all kinds of other investigations. Many police or many investigations come from the investigations that journalists have uncovered. Journalists, yes, they want to sell a paper. And how do they want to sell a paper? Well, they want to find out the facts, because if they've got it wrong and somebody else finds out the facts, they're going to look pretty bad. And they don't want to do that, and they can lose their job. And there is a slant. I mean, you can obviously see that there are certain things that people on certain radio stations won't cover, or television or whatever. They will cover certain things and not others. But the things they do cover, they need to be pretty sure about the facts. Because if they don't have their facts right, they're going to get sued and they're going to lose. Like this My Pillow guy. Like the facts have to be right. And so I think that as a journalist, I was a journalist sort of. And I think that people don't change. Like if I'm a really underhanded person that makes up everything and wants to be really big in the eyes of the world, like that guy that half of the world is listening to now, I forget his half of the country. Anyway, on one of those news stations, his years ago, his friend got in jail, got arrested, and he said, "Man, this is great. This is great. You are in the public eye. Go with it, run with it." And that's the kind of guy he is. And he's one of those commentators. And now he's like, it's just made up as it comes out. Oh my gosh. And that station is not a news station. According to the legal definition, they are not a news station, and they do not have to fact check and report facts. Check that out. That's very interesting. Anyway, so there's all this anti-media. maybe throw it all out and just enjoy being where you are. But anyway, the first what is it called? The first casualty of war is the truth, and war starts with thoughts. War does not start with it starts with thoughts. But we don't have to have war in our lives or in our minds, and I think that it's important that whatever issues are out there that you don't. I'm sorry, I haven't done my hair yet, so I'm going to do my hair. All the issues that are out there are not worth getting upset about. None of it is worth getting upset about. If it's worth getting upset about, you're probably not listening to things that are true, because there's not a lot actually happening out there that's, whatever. So that's it about the Masquerade party. Why do I always go into politics and crap like that when I'm talking? Because I know there's 50% chance that you're going to be agreeing with me, and 50% chance that I might upset you. When I was growing up, my father used to say, never discuss religion or politics or religion. Hey, my hair's getting longer. I'm using this detangler, which is really cool because it doesn't make I'm not getting split ends, which is a miracle, because I always get split ends, but I have to use it. I have long hair again. It's nice to have long hair. Yeah, Googling for facts is good. But you have to be careful, because if I am a devious person and want to persuade people to think my way, and I'm going to ask them a devious question, and then I can easily plant stories. As a writer, I can make up anything. Uh-oh. Are these long? Are these the whole length? Uh-oh, that one is a split. That one's a whole one. Oh, some are split. I have to use my detangler spray, I guess. Anyway, so what were we just saying? What was I just saying? Hello, Fiona. It's really foggy out today. Hey, what about this hurricane that's going up to New York? Yes, I write, but I don't write. I write in my journal, but I don't write. I wrote a book. You know what I'm going to do one day? I'm going to go through my journal. I write in my journal. I have this journal. It's Nancy Today, and it's on livejournal.com. And it's amazing. I love that program because you can attribute memories to everything. And so I have all of my all the things about my family and my projects. Everything is in there, and it's all indexed. Uh-oh, those are split. Oh, no. Okay, detangler next. You got to go to a hurricane wedding today, and the hurricane is coming. But it's not going to get. What time is it coming? You might have time. They haven't canceled the wedding for a hurricane. I haven't been writing in public. I guess I'm just out of touch with everything like that. I used to be a travel writer, right? So that was my writing, was travel writing. And I used to travel to do that. And then, I don't know, I stopped getting press trips. I guess what happened is my outlet went only online. It stopped having a paper version, but I guess that's probably happened everywhere now. Okay, no more hair stuff, Nancy. You're gonna wreck it. Oh, good. Do you have to go far? My family comes from Northwest Connecticut, but there's very few left there now. Okay, so I guess I should get off of here, shouldn't I? I should do something else. What should I do? You know what I've been doing lately? I've been, President Nelson suggested that we look at the topical guide, which is the concordance at the back of our scriptures. And all of the about Jesus Christ, every verse in the entire set of scriptures that is about Jesus Christ is referenced in the topical guide. And there's 12 pages of references. There's Jesus Christ, bread of life, Jesus Christ, cornerstone, Jesus Christ, God, Jesus Christ, creator, Jesus Christ, Godhead, Jesus Christ, advocate, Jesus Christ, antemortal existence of, appearances, postmortal appearances, ascension of, atonement through, authority of, baptism of. Anyway, you get the idea. So what I've been doing is I've been going through and looking up those verses and underlining them. It's very interesting to read all of the antemortal appearances of Jesus Christ, and then to read all of the postmortal appearances of Jesus Christ, because they're all together in your head. And although when you've read a certain area looking for a certain thing or studied a certain thing, it's really interesting to see it across everything. And I think that if I do this thing, if I look up these 12 pages of scriptures about Jesus Christ, it'll probably take me a year. Well, how long is it taking me? So far I've done, maybe it won't take me a year. I've done 2 pages. Maybe there's more than 12. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 pages. Anyway, that's a lot of scriptures that's a lot of, and I think that it will be like a life-changing thing. Like I sang in a choir, the Messiah, the year before COVID came. And that was such a cool thing to do. I love the Messiah, but to sing it over and over and to listen to it in the car over and over and sing the alto with the CD over and over and think about the words. And the words mean so much to me, like the gates of the temple and about, well, he shall feed his flock and yoke yourself to him and let him take your burdens. And I started holding his hand and letting him share and putting myself in his yoke, which then yoking myself to him meant that my burden he was sharing it with me. And so every day the problems get a little harder, right? The problem solving gets a little more difficult. And I think the biggest thing I've learned about problem solving is that if I hold his hand, like when the problems get so big that they involve a lot of people and a lot of different emotions and a lot of planning and actual doing and pressure, when the pressure and criticism, when all those are together in a problem that you have to solve, you have to survive the problem. Sometimes you just hold on and try and hear him and figure out, how do you hear him? How does he speak to you? Do you see sort of a picture of the finished product? Or do you hear a little voice? Is it your voice? Do you suddenly get an idea you never had? Do you get an idea to phone somebody to ask them? So how do you hear him? How is he talking to you? So in the problem solving of the day. So the goal of the day should probably be to hold his hand and just do it all with him there. Like when I hold his hand, I imagine him beside me holding my hand, and I feel peaceful and I feel happy. And look what happens, Just try holding his hand. Being thankful and seeing the problem as just look down on it as, whoa, this is the assignment for the day. And if you can hear him, you'll get the ideas that will lead you through the problem on the easiest, the most sure-footed path. And keep to the light. Whenever there's choices and one is brighter than the other, take the bright choice. Never ignore a generous thought. Those generous thoughts could very well be the way you're hearing him. So listen. Oh, listen up, children. Now y'all listen up. Now you hear? I grew up in Georgia. I've been on here for a long time, and I guess I better do something else. I better walk around the deck a few times to get some exercise before I go sit in the car and then sit in church. I have to change. I have to get beautiful. Ta-da! Actually, I did take a shower last night, and my fingernails are still dirty. I just have to do my fingernails. Well, whatever. I'm sure you need all these details, right? Is anybody there anymore? Oh, 4 people are there, and there's 4 thumbs up. Oh, you're welcome. I hope you enjoy your day. And if you have a goal of hearing him, and then you spend the day trying to see if you can make people smile by smiling at them and being nice to them and complimenting something pretty about them or whatever it is you like about them. It's important to say those things because we imagine that they know or that they don't care or that it's really none of their business. But if you share with people, even people that don't like you, if you share with them things about them that you admire, it changes it. They feel less animosity towards you. They may even begin to feel positive towards you. I mean, there's always hoping. And then be thankful and see, when you smile, look at that. Look at that. Does that not radiate light? Look at that. But this, well, it's still pretty bright, but not like a smile. A smile is energetic. I mean, it's like the life in you just comes alive. So make somebody smile. Smile at somebody and enjoy a laugh. Come up with a good joke. A joke that's really funny that everybody loves. And tell a good joke. And make everybody smile and laugh. They'll like it. And the ripple effect, it will affect everybody. It's amazing. It's like if you put a wolf in a sheep field, that wolf makes lots of ripples, right? And a smile makes ripples for quite a while. Like even talking to you like this, the fact that you're out there and you've responded to me and said things back, it makes me feel good, right? And that's the thing I've learned from COVID is that people, like I can go in the woods and be close to God. I can live my life without people. But if I want to really be happy like that, it's when I'm talking to somebody. I'm not happy like that when I'm writing in my journal or when I'm sitting in the woods by myself. It's when I'm talking to somebody. And if I can't smile, if the problem is so big and all I'm doing is getting through it and smiling is not on the path, it's not on the radar, there are days like that. Then if you smile at me, see, that does a whole different thing. See, that changes my day. And then maybe I can get through my problem better. Maybe I'll have a better view of it. And during COVID and this lockdown, like they're locked down solid in Vietnam right now. I mean, there's tape across the building. That's the kind of lockdown they do. Tape across the building. And you can you can open the door and crawl under the tape, but there's another tape and a guard. It's a communist country. Anyway, but they're going to stop COVID in its tracks. I don't understand how people can say what they say, the negative they say about that COVID is all lies and all that. But meanwhile, how did they get every single country in the world and every hospital in the world to lie about it? And every governor and everybody is in on it if it's a big lie. If I had a lie I wanted to perpetrate, how could I get everybody in on it? Like, it's just not true. I mean, he's locked down. There's COVID in the building, so they locked down. Anyway, whatever. Everything becomes political, and it worries me because a lot of people are American, and there's so much going on in the United States right now that's political about all kinds of issues. Every issue has become political, and it's very divisive. It's like the beginning of a civil war. It's so sad. It's so sad. I'm so grateful that I'm in Canada now. I'm American. I'm so grateful I'm here and hopefully won't be affected by it. But I can see it here too. I can see there's the same thing happening between the liberals and the conservatives, and how things are all being pulled into it. Like the weather. The weather is a political issue. Can you believe that? Like, since when is things like that? And where do you know who's telling the truth? Like, I listened to one station and I went and checked the other station and I listened to them, and then I thought, oh, well, that sounds true. This sounds true. How can they both be true? And I got really confused. So you have to follow the light. Which one has more light and goodness? Which one is making you happy? Which one is making you afraid? You have to analyze. If you're being taken for a ride, I love your name, Fiona. It's beautiful. If you're being taken for a ride, how can you know? And the only possible way to know, because on the internet now, everything you read could have been planted. It could have been planted by somebody who is trying to give proof for all these whatever. And you can pay people a lot of money. People usually have a paying price. For Judas, it was 30 pieces of silver. But everybody's got a price. Hopefully not. But some people have a price. And they will lie, and doctors, and they will say all kinds of things for a price and make it very good. It's like a commercial, right? But you can know what is right and what is wrong because you have the light in you. The light, your conscience is a light, and everybody that comes into the world has that light. And so you know right from wrong. So do not let other people's get you going, get you all riled up, stirred up to anger and contention, to contend one with another and serve the devil, who is an enemy to all, or to an enemy, a master of all sin or something. Anyway, don't get into contention. The truth is the most important thing is getting through this life with your eternal salvation intact, getting closer, getting more filled with light all your life, leaving the darkness behind, always creating or giving out more light, giving out love, happiness, gratitude, and who we become. That's who we become. We become a person filled with light, and our character develops, and we develop godly characteristics, which are the most filled with light. Lying and cheating, there's not a lot of light in there because there's no truth in it. The light and the truth are together. And saying bad things about people and pointing out people's faults, that's a really bad road to get down. That's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be at all. And that's not what we should be thinking about. As human beings, we all have this life as a challenge. We need to get through this life, and we need to love our families, raise our families. We need to be able to survive from the weather, however that means. We have to survive on this planet for 8900 years, whatever we live for. And so we got to get through it the best way possible. And the best and helping help is good. So making friends and being nice to people and helping each other, not finding faults and saying that person's a really awful person and calling people names, and that's not what the Savior would have done. That's not what will fill us with light. That's not an example to be followed. No. We need to be good people. And then we can be happy. Even if you're locked up, getting on something like this if you're in lockdown is a good idea. I'm not sure which countries are having it the worst right now. The focus has changed on the news, so I have to actually go and search it all out if I want to know what's happening. I think Australia is having a bad wave. And the UK started a bad wave a while ago, but I haven't heard anything. I have to look at everything again. Anyway, okay, I guess I gotta get going. So it's been nice talking to you. Carry on. Hey, you like my little display over here? I painted that painting, and I didn't finish it because I didn't want to make his face to look bad. So his face looks like the rest of them, glorified. And I have my scriptures here. These are the ones that I am working on. Anyway, it's great, eh? Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, you like painting? Oh, you like the painting? Thank you. Nice painting. So thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And I'm sorry about the playlists, because on YouTube now the playlists just run, and you have to start at the beginning and watch the whole thing through. And what if there's 500 videos in the playlist? Anyway, I got to figure out how to do that so you can have a better time. See you later. Enjoy the day. Bye.